So, in keeping true with my commitment to record as frequently as possible, I came to the library, right? So I was like, oh, the library would surely have a nice quiet spot for me to make my video, right? So I was like, all right, so I'll use one of the little meeting rooms in the library. Child, why this room look like a prison visitation? Okay, there ain't nothing to it. I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting something really nice and fancy. I don't know why. But I'm about to take a little time to read my little preservation books, food preservation, and find another spot because I don't like this. Ugh. All right, fam. So I've decided to just say screw it and stay put at the library in this little creepy looking room. It is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So today's topic I want to talk about is concerning Jesus. And if Jesus was real, because we hear these conversations come up a lot in this age of misinformation, disinformation. So I just want to share with you what the universe has revealed to me in regards to a person known as Jesus. Yes, Jesus was a real person that walked the earth. However, Jesus's message, along with a lot of the messages in the Bible, were hijacked because they did not want us to know our true power. And Jesus incarnated on this planet for the sole purpose of telling us we had power just like he did. So essentially, Jesus knew himself inside and out. He knew his higher self, he knew his shadow, which helped him to activate his God DNA. The God DNA that the universe places in each and every one of us. The shadow is where the demons live, okay? Your demons, which may be, you may suffer from lust, you may suffer from being a pathological liar, you may suffer from, I don't know, being a sexual predator, or, overeating, alcoholism, drug use, all of the lower vibrations that keep us trapped on a lower frequency and out of our power and actualizing into our higher selves. So Jesus knew those, the lower sides of himself, right? But he also knew his higher self. Jesus spent a lot of time in solitude, getting to know himself. And a lot of times that's what the universe calls us to do. Because I can tell you in my own experience, in my own walk, I spend a lot of time alone. A lot. Okay? I have had to get comfortable with spending a lot of time alone. And I will tell you, that's been the case for me since I was a young girl. So Jesus was a loner. And a lot of chosen people are loners, okay? And it's okay. It's okay to be a loner and to be comfortable in your own skin and to get to know who you are authentically, okay? So that has been a calling on my life. The universe has separated me because I have a message to bring. And everybody's not going to be okay with the message that I have to bring, but I have to bring the message anyway because that's my calling. And I'm okay with that. if everybody isn't receptive. And it's the same thing with Jesus. Jesus knew he had a message to bring. Jesus wanted you to know that you have all power within you, that you don't need to look outside of yourself for God. You are God. You are God. You just have to raise your frequency to that level to actualize into your God self. But you can't do that if you are stuck down into your lower frequencies with your shadow, with your ego controlling you. And the ego and the shadow control you because you don't know those parts of yourself inside out. It's like having a dog. Dog owners can relate to this. I have a little dog, and I have two dogs, but one of them is extremely spunky and like extremely full of himself and confident and aggressive. Not really aggressive, but assertive. An example would be when I take him out to walk. He wants to run the show. He wants to tell me which way to go, what we gonna do, how we gonna do it. So it's like he's walking us, me and my other dog. But me as the owner, that can't fly. I have to take control, and I have to let him know, you don't walk me, I walk you. So we're going the direction I want to go. It's the same exact scenario with your shadow. Your shadow is going to try to take control, lead you down different roads, different paths that aren't for your highest good, that don't collaborate with what your calling, your spiritual calling is, and your spiritual gifts, etc., etc. So it's up to you to identify that. When your shadow is trying to lead you in a certain direction, it's trying to lead you off your path. An example with Jesus would be when he was confronted by the devil, which I know to be a part of our shadow. He was confronted and offered to have everything in the world if he would just allow himself to be led by his shadow. And Jesus said, no, you don't lead me. I lead you. You don't lead me. So you have the ability to shut your shadow down. You just have to be aware of what your shadow is and how it tries to tempt you and take you off course of your higher calling. You see? Your shadow is set. It's like this whole experience is like a video game, okay? You have your higher self and you have your shadow, and both are competing against one another. But you are in control. You have the controller. So what are you going to do with the controller? Who are you going to let win the battle? And if you take a step back and look at the yin and the yang symbol, to me, idealistically, that represents the higher self and the shadow perfectly. But it has to be balanced for you to come into your God power. That has to be balanced. There's a little fruit fly or something in here. So if you see me, my hand flinging all over the place, it's because I'm trying to swat him out of my face. But yeah, there's a need for that to be balanced. Okay, there's a need for you to find balance between your higher self and your shadow. Okay, the message that Christ was to bring that got hijacked is you don't condemn yourself for your shadow. Okay, don't condemn yourself for your shadow. Learn what the aspects of your shadow are and use them to be imbalanced with your higher self. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you how imbalanced I was. had a problem with being too far on the light side. And what that got me was, a lot of people used me. A lot of people thought I was just silly and could be taken for a fool, and, you know, took my kindness for weakness. And, you know, I found that I was giving, over giving all the time. You know what I'm saying? And doing everything out of love, just being led by love, and goodness. But that caused me a lot of pain because I was imbalanced. So that's why I say you don't want to judge your shadow, because your shadow can be used. If you know your shadow completely, your shadow can be used to kind of to balance out the light. So now that I know my shadow, and I'm at a point right now where I want to know my shadow more, where I want to know how I can use the aspects of my shadow to bring in more balance, right? Because I'm not a doormat for anybody, okay? I'm not going to be a doormat for anybody. So with that, I've learned to implement more boundaries. I've learned to pull my energy back from people who aren't deserving. I've learned to really just pull my energy back altogether from everybody while I'm in this period of isolation and working with the universe to show me who I am, to show me all the different parts of myself, and how all these different pieces and parts are supposed to come together and be balanced so that I can be walk in my God-like divinity, which is what I was called, me, you, all of us were called to do from the start. This is why the universe put us here, to walk this earth, to walk this planet as gods. We are gods. We're not, there is no God outside of us ourselves. We are God. We carry the life force energy. So if you know, the Bible talks about Christ, Jesus doing all these different miracles, you know, raising the dead, walking on water, doing these different things. But I'm here to tell you, you raise your frequency to a certain degree and you're going to be doing the same thing, if not more. Jesus said, you can do all these things and more. But you got to know yourself. You got to awaken your God DNA that's lying dormant. And I have a whole video that I made some months back about the God gene and how to activate your God gene. And this is the message that Jesus came to bring. The message that was hijacked by the parasites of this planet. They don't want you in your power. It benefits them to keep us powerless, because then we are their slaves, mentally and physically. Each individual is put here to be their own universe, to be their own God, the God of their own existence. Once you're imbalanced, that's what it is. You don't need all of these things externally to tell you what to do. The divine already put it in you. The divine created you. You have a pineal gland that connects you, gives you a direct connection to the creator of the all. The creator that put this life force energy in everything on this planet. You have a direct connection through your pineal gland. Okay? Now it's up to you whether you're going to activate your pineal gland and do the work that is needed to make that connection. That's going to require you to put down social media. That's going to require you to carve out time to sit with the divine. And I know that's a challenge. I mean, in this day and age when everybody's so glued to their phones, glued to the internet. And why do you think that is? Why do you think that they gave us the phones and the internet? Why do you think they're creating the, what is Facebook creating? The, I don't know, whatever, something verse. You wear the goggles and you go into a fake universe, right? That's to keep you distracted and out of your power. Because they don't want the original people of this planet to know that we are gods, that we have powers. Once we come into that realization, it's over. So yes, Jesus walked this earth just like you and I. But Jesus was able to raise his consciousness to a God level. He was able to unlock all of his powers. So essentially he was balanced. He was in his God power. And it's time for you to wake up and to come into your God power. Activate your pineal gland. Activate your chakras. Activate your kundalini. Get into your connection with the universe. Connect with your ancestors. All of the heavenly hosts that are here to help you and guide you to actualize your God self. This is what they don't want you to know. This is the message that they hijacked and stole from Jesus and made it seem like he was something or someone that he wasn't. Jesus was a God in human form, just like you and I. But you have to wake up. You have to actualize your God, your divinity. You have to actualize your divinity, and that takes work. But you start taking the steps, and next thing you know, you're going to be there.